Hello everyone, I'm Akanksha Mishra and you are watching TNB Academy. Let's start with today's session. Food safety isn't just about what is in your fridge, it is about what lies in the systems behind it. Welcome to today's masterclass, Structure and Process of ISO 22003-2022, the certification engine behind food safety. Whether you are an auditor, a certification body, or part of the food supply chain, understanding this standard is non-negotiable. Now let's talk about the clauses. Clause 1. Scope. Clause 1 clarifies that ISO 22003 applies exclusively to third-party certification of FSMS. It does not apply to food businesses or regulators directly, but to the bodies certifying food safety systems. The clause emphasizes that the standard applies to product and process certifications and to schemes using ISO 17021 as a base, such as ISO 22000 and GFSI benchmarked schemes. Clause 2. Normative references. This clause refers to other documents essential to implementing ISO 22003 correctly. Key references include ISO IEC 17021, which governs the general competence of certification bodies, and ISO 22000. Certification bodies must read these documents in tandem to fully comply with ISO 22003. Now we will talk about Clause 3, Terms and Definitions. Clause 3 defines critical terms such as audit time, food chain category, multi-site organization, and critical non-conformity. By standardizing definitions, it prevents misinterpretation of core concepts between different certification bodies, auditors, and scheme owners. Now Clause 4. Context of the organization. Certification bodies must understand their own context before certifying others. Clause 4 requires certification bodies to analyze their internal and external environment, including stakeholder needs, legal requirements, and risk to impartiality. This clause ensures the certification body itself operates in a manner consistent with ISO 22000 principles before extending those principles to others. Now let's discuss about the Clause 5, Requirements for Certification Bodies. This clause establishes the eligibility and governance requirements of certification bodies. A certification body must be a legal entity, have clear organizational responsibilities, and ensure financial independence from its clients. It must also operate in accordance with documented policies that reflect impartiality and consistency in certification delivery. Now Clause 6, Management of Impartiality. Impartiality is a central pillar of ISO 22003. This clause requires certification bodies to identify risk to impartiality, such as offering consulting and certification to the same client, and take actions to eliminate or minimize those risks. A committee for safeguarding impartiality must be established to oversee operations and handle complaints or conflicts of interest. Now Clause 7, Structural Requirements. This section defines the organizational structure of a certification body. It mandates clear separation of activities that could compromise impartiality and requires defined responsibilities for top management. The decision-making process for granting or refusing certification must be based on objective evidence, independent of audit personnel. Now let's discuss about Clause 8, Resource Requirement. Clause 8 focuses on the competence of personnel, particularly auditors. It lays out how certification bodies should assess auditor qualifications, ensure continuing education, maintain competence matrices specific to food chain categories. Each auditor must have knowledge relevant to the specific category, that is A to K, of the food sector they are auditing, including food safety hazards and applicable regulations. Now Clause 9, Information Requirements. Certification bodies must provide clients with clear, transparent information about certification processes, scope, rules, and applicable charges. They must also maintain secure and confidential records of all certifications issued, decisions made, and complaints or appeals received. Now let's discuss about Clause 10, Process Requirements. Process integrity is the backbone of certification. Clause 10 ensures certification bodies have structured systems for internal audits, risk management, document control, and continual improvement. This ensures every certification is supported by a reliable, repeatable system that upholds the standard's integrity. Now, Clause 11, Certification Process. This clause defines how certification bodies must manage certification from start to finish. Application Review. All client information must be validated for completeness. Audit time calculation based on food chain category, risk, number of sites, and staff count. Audit planning. Clear scope, methodology, and auditor assignment. Audit execution, Stage 1 readiness and Stage 2 implementation. Audits must be separate and performed by competent auditors. Non-conformity management. All non-conformities, that is minor, major or critical, must be addressed with evidence-based corrective actions. Surveillance and recertification. Defined intervals must be followed with recertification at least every 3 years. Multi-site certification. Sampling rules must be applied and central functions reviewed annually. Certificate issuance. Clear, accurate and reflecting current scope with no misleading claims. ISO 22003-2022 is not just a technical document. It is the backbone of global trust in food safety certifications. When implemented correctly, it ensures that certification bodies act with integrity, impartiality, and technical competence. Whether you are managing a certification body or undergoing certification, understanding this standards, structure, and clauses is the key to maintaining food safety and public trust. I am Akanksha Mishra. We'll see you in the next episode of TNV Academy. Thanks for watching.